It's Thursday, May 24th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we talk budgets, police, and beaches with the town manager, learn more about how to navigate the Cape with Cape Cod RTA buses and trains, and then we'll fly over to the airport for an update. A look at today's weather. A little chillier today, bring a jacket. But the sun is shining for most of the day. Partly cloudy skies, high 61. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Let's start with some news you can use. The budget amendment process has been in full swing for the last few days, and here are a couple of highlights from Senator Sear. The following amendments have passed. $65,000 for Housing Assistance Corporation, HAC, to ensure their critical outreach work continues to support housing insecure individuals in the community. $250,000 for small business and technical assistance training programs for Massachusetts businesses with 20 or fewer employees. $45,000 for Barnstable Police Department, NAMI Cape Cod and the Islands, and VinFen to help homeless individuals during weather emergencies. And finally, $50,000 in funding to Calmer Choice to offer substance misuse prevention in Cape Cod schools. Budget planning is always an ongoing process in the town of Barnstable, and town manager Mark L. stopped into the studio to highlight the final stages of the operating budget making its way through town council. He also updates us on the search for a new police chief. Joining us in studio today, town manager Mark Ells. We're going to wrap up budget season once and for all. We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Home stretch.
Hopefully one more meeting, the 7th, June 7th. Yeah, we've done a great job. Obviously, we got through our capital budgeting, last month, and now we started our operating budget, and I would say we got through at least 2/3 of the budget. What's remaining are police, town manager, town council, and then a lot of the other accounts that really our finance director manages relevant to the operation of our overall budget. So hopefully we'll conclude on June 7th, and we'll have the FY 2019 budget behind us.
Excellent. And some of the highlights of what has already gone through, the Barnstable school system has gone through already.
Yes, well, airport's gone through.
Okay.
Lots of good discussion there about the changing market for municipal air services, and how we're looking at both making sure that moving forward the airport is financially viable. There's been some major changes in that marketplace, and that's obviously a big concern for us. The school department moved forward successfully with their budget. That's always wonderful to see. So that's good. That's behind. We had Public Works come up with general fund and its 3 enterprise funds. Those were approved, and then we moved into planning and development and regulatory services and inspectional services and community services and natural resources. So and within those there are enterprise funds as well, much like Public Works, like golf and Sandy Neck. So we now are just down to, like I said, town council, town manager, police, and then primarily fixed accounts and some of the other revolving accounts, libraries, things of that nature.
Right. So a lot of the discussions of this obviously had been before the meetings and things like that. I don't know if all residents know just how many departments there are in town government. So there's, this is a long process. We've been talking about this pretty much since February.
Yeah, well, we never
stop talking about it, right?
You plan it, you implement it, you control it.
Right.
Over and over and over. So, and like I've said before, I mean, we're planning now for the 2020 budget, and then we will begin implementation formally late summer, and we'll conclude it by probably February, and then we'll bring it forward in the form of capital and operating again the following year. So we're constantly, we're planning for 5. We're preparing 2, we're requesting 1 fiscal year. So you're always a year ahead, almost formally, though you don't make that request, because that's the sort of planning that without that, you don't want to be surprised by what's coming up. Many times you're making obligations under your capital program, for example, for a facility, and if you haven't anticipated and if you aren't looking forward 1, 2, 3 years for when you put that facility with those programs and services online, and you haven't anticipated the revenue you need to offset the cost of that, that's really not very good management.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're doing all of that. And typically the capital is more, even though a capital project might take multiple years, it's a 1-year ask, and then you go with that. Operating never stops.
Right.
That's all.
So when you talk about long processes, choosing a new police chief has that same long process.
It does, absolutely. Choosing any senior level manager does. I've had a lot of questions, primarily, when are you going to announce? Shortly. In this case, the one aspect to it that is different, that I just don't know that people understand necessarily, is we have another layer of process, which is civil service involved here.
Right.
So we're making sure that step by step we do everything that's required. And civil service has given us 3 candidates, and we really have to go through in the order they've given them to us and evaluate them and then make a recommendation for chief. So we're at the final stages of that, and it'll happen shortly. And the other question that I get regularly is about, it's kind of like, well, the chief left May 3rd. Well, there was a plan of succession. What that means is, in the event, even if there is a sitting chief, and for some reason they're not there, you don't look around and say, okay, who's in charge?
Who's in charge, right?
Immediately, the senior deputy chief steps in and plays the role. In the event that that individual isn't there, we have 2 chiefs, so the 2 deputy chiefs. So the other would, and so we have all of that laid out so that this is seamless in a sense. We don't miss a step, and that's what happened. So until the next chief's appointed, that's the process that we follow.
Right.
And then we'll start to backfill as we make our various decisions relevant to the chief's position, and then we did an internal search, so we know that there will be some subordinate positions opening up, and we'll move right along with those. Same process, civil service.
Right.
It's not like I explained that to a group that helped me do a public evaluation. Members of the public helped to evaluate, but I explained this isn't just like private sector hiring. And it isn't like normal public hiring. This is public civil service hiring. So each of them have a well-defined process, and that's what we're following, and we need to be compliant with.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are the big plans for Memorial Day weekend? It is upon us. It's this weekend.
It's here. It's exciting. It sounds like the sun is going to be out, for at least maybe showers Sunday. I hope everybody can get out there and enjoy. Our facilities are ready, and they have obviously our parades in some of our villages on Monday, and Memorial Day weekend's kind of like the it's the start line for this season.
I call it the soft opening.
It is, and it's just exciting that we're here, we're ready, to see all of our visitors come, and our businesses, if they're not open already, reopen for the season. The beach is formally 7 days a week open on, I believe it's the 23rd. I think the big meeting's on the 22nd of all staff. 23rd is when that begins, and so make sure you get your beach sticker.
They said the lines are going to be long in the next few days, so...
They are this week. It's busy this week going into Memorial Day because some of the beaches, will be manned, and you're going to have a sticker to get in. And then, but absolutely by the 23rd, you have to have your sticker. And we've really backed off of, we've had complaints time to time that, a lot of people don't realize that the beach sticker is a 12-month sticker.
Right.
And you're supposed to really have it if you're parking, but we've really tried to balance that out a little bit better. And I think ultimately we'll change our regs so that we have a summer season parking regs and off-season parking regs, because it creates a lot of confusion for people. They're like, you know, the beach isn't open yet, so why do I need a beach sticker? And they're right. They're right. Somehow along the way, that morphed into a 12-month sticker, and I'm not quite sure when it did. But sometimes, though, I kind of know how it may have happened, and there's a couple of beaches that the villages want to make sure that there's beach stickers, because people from all over the place come and park there. And yeah, we're gonna have to balance that one out. We really are. But we certainly don't want a visitor who wants, the first thing they want to do is go down to the beach, or a resident when they get here wants to get to the beach and they don't have their sticker, and they end up getting penalized for that. You know, out of season.
Out of season.
In season, you got to have it.
In season, you got to have it. The season starts this weekend, so we'll see you on the beach.
I hope so.
All right.
I hope so.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
The Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority has many options for car-free travel to the Cape, as well as getting around Barnstable and beyond. Consider taking a fun trip with your bike this summer to the National Seashore. The CCRTA can get you there.
During the summer months, people who are visiting the Cape or live on the Cape can use our service to travel anywhere on the Cape. They can use any of our routes to, for example, the H2O that leaves here from Hyannis and travels all the way down to Orleans. It travels along 28, and I don't know if you're aware, but there's many activities that are on 28. For example, you have the water park that is on 28. You have the Widow Museum. You have the golf courses. There's several of them that are along the Cape. The Pirates Cove, as well as I think there's another one, Skull Island. Not to mention when you get into Harwichport, there's trampolines, there's ice cream, there's go-karts. There's all different activities that kids can do along the Cape and enjoy themselves. And not only that, if they don't live right along the route, that's okay, because they have their bicycles they can use. They can ride to one of our bus stops, and if they can get to 28, they can flag our buses down. And as long as they're on the right side of the road and they can do so safely, we'll stop and we'll pick them up. We have buses that go near the beaches, so that's where if they have a bicycle that they've brought with them, that's where it comes in handy. So we can get them close to the beach and they can ride the bike the rest of the way. We have the ability to carry 3 bicycles on the front of our buses. And to ride on the bus, adults is $2. Students, if they stop by here and get a trolley card, they are discounted to $1.50. We work closely with the J1 students when they come to visit the Cape. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity to get here and there while they're here, not just for work purposes, but also to have that cultural experience while they're visiting. And we also offer them a discounted pass. It's a 31-day pass. We discount that to $45 for them, so they can go on and off the buses all month long. And they also have their bicycles. And in addition, we also have funding that we have set aside for bike and ped, and we purchase bike lights to help keep them safe when they're riding at night.
The Cape Flyer is a seasonal passenger rail service that comes from South Station down right into Hyannis, right here to this terminal. And every year it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and we get, you know, a lot of press on it because it is, you know, so convenient for people not to have to travel over the bridge. And we work with all kinds of organizations and businesses here on the Cape to try to just attract people down to the Cape. Well, we have a unique bike coach that can hold up to 50 bikes. So we have a lot of groups that come down that they get off in Hyannis, they bike to P-Town, and then they take Boston Harbor cruises back, or vice versa, or they just, you know, stay around Hyannis. A lot of them get off in Buzzards Bay to head down to Woods Hole to go to Martha's Vineyard, or stay in Falmouth and experience all there is to experience there. There's a cafe car on board that has, you know, beer, wine, cocktails, refreshments, and you know, all kinds of, like a fried chicken basket or a fluffernutter or something like that that you know, people can enjoy. Pets are free, absolutely. In fact, in the cafe car, there's a water bowl, and they have treats for all the pets. Kids are free under 12. Bikes are free, and there's room for luggage. We've had some really interesting requests for, you know, like a tandem bike or something like that. We always make room for anybody that wants to hop on. On the 27th, we have a free train for all veterans. As of right now, we have about 400 that are coming down. Once they get into Hyannis, they're going to be bussed over to the Cape Cod Cares for the Troops in the Spotlight event at the Kmart Plaza, where they'll spend the day. There's a lot of activities and ceremonies that they have down there. They can come back earlier if they want and walk around Main Street here. We're going to have a band set up so they have some music to listen to before they board the train again. There's a lot of food. All the food is free on the Cape Flyer, so that's all donated by a bunch of different organizations. The gourmet brunch has offered chowder, so we had a chowder station here as they're boarding the train. They'll grab a chowder, a cookie, a soda, and all kinds of other fun things. So it's a great day for them. There's no traffic on my bridge. That's my hashtag on social media.
We caught up with Manager-Select Katie Service at her office at the Barnstable Municipal Airport to talk about the upcoming season, a new airport assistant manager starting in June, and plans for the Cape Town Plaza. We're here at Barnstable Airport with the Manager-Select Katie Service. Katie.
Hi, thank you.
Been a long time for an update.
Yes, it has been. We've been busy.
Busy. This is the season, though, you know, as you are getting ready to take the reins of the airport, as well as JetBlue coming in. You've got a new assistant manager, lots to talk about today. So let's start with the one that we all know about, which is the season of JetBlue.
Sure. So this is JetBlue's 5th season coming to the airport. They do daily flights to and from Hyannis and JFK Airport in New York. They will start this year on May 25th. They have a morning flight that they're doing May 25th and May 28th. Those are the first 2 days that they're flying, arriving here 8:30 in the morning and departing about a half an hour afterwards. Then they have a few days that they do like a 10 o'clock, 10:45 departure to JFK up until June 14th. And then once June 14th hits, they will do their daily service that will depart and arrive at their normal times that they have been for the past 5 years, which is a 12:45 arrival and about a 1:15 departure. So they'll be back and forth. We're happy to see them. They'll fly to and from Hyannis, JFK, up until September 4th. September 4th right now is their last day of the season.
Okay.
So we plan on having a big to-do for them in the morning, 8:30 in the morning for their first arrival this on Friday the 25th, which will be pretty exciting. And Cape Cod Coffee, who is now in our restaurant, they'll be here giving out coffee samples for the folks that are coming in and off of the aircraft. So that'll be good to see JetBlue back.
It's good for our economy as well as for the airport. You know, bringing in some of these larger carriers just makes the municipal airport really one of those gems of the town, where we know that you know, there's an economy here that people want to come and see, and it's easier to get here by plane instead of the bridge.
Right, and I'm glad you said that, because you know, we do have a true transportation network here. I mean, this is the transportation hub for Cape and the Islands. So the fact that the town of Barnstable has in their back door, in their backyard, they have a municipal airport that can provide such services like this. It's a key element for, you know, future economic growth for the area and for the Cape. So the next thing that we really need to do is start plugging to different airlines to get more activity here at this airport, and that's my charge. That's what I'll be doing.
Great. So talking about economic activity, Cape Town Plaza is open for bids. At this point, there's a new lease on it, which I know had been holding up some developers' plans maybe, or thoughts of redeveloping. So tell us about that.
Sure. So Cape Town Plaza is actually a parcel of land that's owned by the airport. It's 26 acres. We have the custody, I should say the airport has the custody of that parcel. So we, with the help of the town and town council, we put out an RFP, request for proposals, on April 26th, asking any developers to come in with their fresh ideas to revitalize that 26-acre parcel, to look at anything from retail development to multi-use types of development at that facility. So we've really asked for the gamut for any developers that are interested to come in to identify, you know, what they can do on that parcel, what makes sense from a town standpoint, from the economics of the town, and what the town's strategic plan is for economic development. Take that all into account count, and then move forward with a proposal that will be evaluated by a 5-member team that will look at that proposal and see, does it make sense for the airport, does it make sense for the town. I really think that Cape Town Plaza has seen a lot of change in the retail market over the past several years, and it really needs a facelift. We need to make that area look more attractive and more user-friendly for our community.
Right, and it's very central to a lot of things. So there's a whole brand new, huge neighborhood that just went out into Independence as well. So, you know, redeveloping that area is going to just help Route 132 become a corridor that it's always wanted to be.
Exactly, and you know, we're hoping for the best. Bids are due August 31st. Okay. Bids are due, and then we'll take the evaluation team. We'll look at those bids, and that will probably bring us into about December before we make any type of decision.
Okay, so things are really, really busy. Do you have any help?
We are getting help. So we did a worldwide search for assistant airport manager to basically take my place once I move up on June 29th and take Bud's position. For those who do not know, Bud Brialt, who has been at the airport as the airport manager for 9 years, is retiring. This is kind of his 3rd retirement. So I'm taking the reins. I really wanted to look into an individual that could provide us with a lot of aviation knowledge, because his focus, and I'll reveal his name in a moment, but his focus is really going to be on the airfield, helping me meet our federal requirements for this type of airport, for this type of facility. However, he also has a lot of background and knowledge in airport marketing. So I'm going to really try to make his focus be on the airfield, but also assisting me in marketing this airport. Over the past several years, the airport has seen a real decline in passenger traffic. Airlines compete right now with the Steamship Authority. They have high-speed ferries that go to the same destination. So the airport really needs to reinvent themselves. We need to look at different ways to diversify our revenue stream. So whether that's having other airlines come to the airport, introducing them to this community, identifying what our community needs are to see who we can attract, but also looking at some of our property leases, such as the Cape Town Plaza, and looking at how we can make some revenue off of non-aviation types of land that we have. So that's going to be my focus. My focus is going to be trying to get those other airlines in, trying to market the land that we have, and trying to really change the airport in ways that we really need to see that different influx of revenue coming to the field. So there's going to be hopefully a lot of changes happening at the airport. The gentleman that we've hired, his name is Matt Elia. Matthew comes from Taunton area. He grew up in Taunton, Massachusetts. He has done a lot of different, he has been in a lot of different positions in the aviation world. He worked at a smaller airport, Mansfield, where he was working at a fixed base operation which did fueling, did all the grass cutting, did the maintenance of the airfield. So he has a real diverse experience there, and he was there for quite some time. He was also the assistant airport manager at New Bedford Airport in Massachusetts. And for the past 2 years, he's been in Florida, but his love is New England. And I've worked with Matt in the past, not in an employee relationship, but in different boards and memberships that we've been a part of as part of the aviation community. And I really think he's a good mix for the airport. I think that he can move things forward on the airfield side of things, and then start assisting me as he gets his feet wet with marketing this airport.
So you've got some help. You've got a RFP out for Cape Town Plaza. JetBlue's on their way back in. But Bud's leaving.
But Bud's leaving, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with Bud. I've been here for just over 3 years. I've known Bud for longer than that. In my capacity as a planner for the State Aeronautics Division, I had the opportunity to meet Bud and to work with them, especially building this new terminal that he had a part in. But with Bud's guidance, you know, we've worked really closely together in the past 3.5 years. His intention has always been that he would prepare me, get me ready for the, you know, for the possibility of taking over for him. And then when he finally decided to move on and retire, you know, we went through the process, and I said, sure, I think this is where I want to go. So, yeah.
It's a bittersweet moment, I would imagine, for you and for Bud as well, who has devoted his life to the town of Barnstable. You know, we'll miss him at the town. His smiling face, he always has a kind word for everyone. As we look forward to the summer season, good luck.
Thank you.
And let us know anytime you have an update. We're ready and willing to be here.
You know, I really appreciate that, and I think, you know, the biggest thing for us is the updates of moving forward and developing this airport. So I hope to be calling on that help in the near future to see what we can do at this airport.
Excellent. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
As we prepare to celebrate Memorial Day here on Cape Cod, our quote today is inspired by all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. John F. Kennedy. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.